Welcome back to the Million Dollar Purpose Podcast, where we are answering the big question: what is my God-given purpose, and how do I get paid to live it out? On this episode, I am going to be talking about the real reason that you're still broke, and it's not what you think. Okay? Because you and I both know you love God, you pray faithfully, and you genuinely want to fulfill His purpose. You don't just want money. Money is not the goal necessarily. It's a goal, but it's not the goal. Your goal is purpose. Your goal is wanting to fulfill God's purpose on your life. And you don't want to waste the life that God has given you. But you're still struggling financially. And that is a huge problem. You may have multiple business ideas, a calling that God has placed on your heart, or years of prayer asking God for change, for financial prosperity. God, help me in my finances. Help me pay my bills. Help me, become wealthy so I can leave an inheritance for my children's children. And yet you still don't see the abundance that you expect or that you're hoping for. And so you may be feeling super confused. Like, am I missing God? Maybe I'm not capable. Maybe wealth is really not something that I'm called to do, even though you know deep down that it is. You might feel like maybe you're not qualified, or maybe God doesn't actually want you to prosper. And it just leaves you feeling more and more frustrated because you know that you were made for more. And you may also be wondering, why would God place gifts, talents, and ideas inside of me if He never intended for me to use them? But the truth is that God does intend you to use them, and He does intend for you to be wealthy. Okay? The reason you're still broke is not what you think. Your problem is not lack of faith. Your problem is lack of obedience. God is not going to send provision just because you pray harder. He's going to send provision when you start living out your God-given purpose. Now, a few years ago, God revealed something that completely changed how I viewed abundance. I used to think if I just pray, the money would show up, and then the bill still came and it wasn't there. But during that struggle, I cried out to God. And I said, God, what is my purpose? What is my purpose? And when God revealed my purpose to me, that I was called to help Christians in the marketplace to build successful online course businesses, that when He revealed that to me, I made $20,000 within a span of 4 months. And I realized that my purpose was meant to be my provision. My purpose was meant to be the thing that paid me. And God also, there was a scripture that my dad repeated to me over and over and over again. Deuteronomy 8:18. But remember the Lord your God, for it is He who gives you the ability to produce wealth. God does not say, I'm going to drop money from heaven. He says, I'll give you the ability. And when you have the ability, you have the skill, you have the gift, you have the purpose, you have the assignment, then it's your job. It is your duty, obligation, and responsibility to produce wealth from what God has given you. So, here's your plan. As your $1 Million Purpose Coach, I'm going to give you a step-by-step plan to help you turn your purpose into what gets you paid. Step 1 is obviously discovering your purpose. Most people are asking, how do I make money? But they should be asking, what problem did God create me to solve? It's a big difference. You're called to be a problem solver, and you're called to solve a specific problem for a specific group of people. Step 2 is building a kingdom business around the problem that you're called to solve. Every God-given purpose solves a problem. And every problem solved creates value. And value is what creates income. And that is how your purpose pays you. Step 3 is to share the message, to to not be afraid. Many believers are hiding. They're afraid of social media. They're afraid of criticism. They're afraid of visibility. And yet God never intended your gift to stay hidden. Scripture says in Matthew 5:16, let your light shine before men. It's not meant to be put under a table, right? And then step 4 is to receive the abundance. Abundance becomes a byproduct of obedience, not chasing money, but following God's purpose for your life. Now listen, you might be thinking, well, what if I fail? What if I try to do this business and I fail? But here's the deal. What if you don't try to do the business? You fail anyway. If you ignore God's assignment, you'll keep feeling restless. You'll keep feeling you'll keep being broke for sure. You'll keep job hopping, starting over, wondering what's missing, because purpose ignored creates frustration. Matthew 25:26 says, you wicked and lazy servant. The servant wasn't punished because he lacked talent. He was punished because he buried it. You have to avoid being that servant and be the servant who produces, who gives the master a return on his investment. Now imagine waking up excited, knowing exactly why you're here, building a brand that glorifies God and helping thousands of people, creating financial freedom, leaving generational wealth, hearing, well done, my good and faithful servant. This is what happens when purpose and obedience align. Now, I'll be the first to tell you, God did not bring you here by accident. And if you're ready to discover your $1 million purpose and learn how to build a kingdom brand around it, look in the description below, where I have a free training that helps you to clarify your calling, create a course, and earn 10K months. I'm so excited, and I hope that you'll join our community of believers who are turning their purpose into prosperity with God. I'll see you on the next one.